Welcome to What's on Tap, a video podcast created to keep the hospitality industry connected, engaged, and informed on issues directly affecting our world. We strive to curate authentic conversations with and for the people who make bars and restaurants tick. What's on Tap is powered by TappedIn, a restaurant solutions company that makes operators' lives easier and their businesses more successful. TappedIn can help with anything from websites to QR-driven menus to getting you set up with online ordering and much more. To get tapped today, head over to gettappedin.io. On this second episode in our Nightlife Under COVID series, we're going to address the plight of the DJ. Bars and nightclubs hire DJs to create an atmosphere and drive the energy of the crowd. Establishments limited to 25% capacity can't afford to spend anything extra on entertainment, nor do they have enough patrons to entertain. This means that even as some restaurants and bars have opened their doors again, the gigs for DJs has remained few and far between. Today, we are interviewing Chicago-based Shannon Currie, aka DJ Silkee. Hear how the pandemic has affected his livelihood and how he's adapted and innovated to survive.
Shannon, thank you for being here. Welcome to What's on Tap.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. The reason I asked you to be on is because just down there is where you've been spinning. You're a DJ and you spin every Sunday from noon until 2 p.m.
Yep. Every Sunday.
And that started during the COVID lockdown period, right?
Yeah, it kind of culminated through like what they were going on with the South Loop as far as like when they played the music and have like the the flashlights and light shows. And I was like, well, people are still out here just hanging out, and so I just want to bring something just added to it. And so I was like, Sundays 12 to 2, no one's doing anything pretty much, and I was like, might as well just like have people come out and just like come together with music.
And that's interesting because most people, I think the knock on the South Loop is that it's not, it doesn't have that community feel.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people, but it doesn't have that very close feel. And I'm not sure if a lot of people know that, but during that lockdown period, every night at like 8 p.m. and then it shifted until 9 as it got lighter out.
Yeah.
The entire South Loop lit up. People had flashing strobe lights, and they had everyone tuned into the same station. There's music blaring, and everyone's partying to the same song for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like when I thought it wasn't gonna last that long, but like when it went on for like almost a whole 3 months, I was surprised that so many people were like, you just come out and just like either videotaping out there or just flashing lights up here, and you just see hundreds of people just like getting together as a community throughout that.
And so you're just like, I want to do my own thing. I want to add to the South Loop ambiance. Yeah. Everyone's cooped up.
Yeah, just try to bring a little thing like more of us together, because at that point in time, everyone like doing the whole thing. They're kind of done being a chef or done being like just in the house cooped up. So I was like, maybe just something that's almost on a schedule for them to like, all right, 12 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We got DJ Silkee out here. He's going to play for us and just for a couple hours, and just started doing that. So
tell us about your DJing history. When did you get started? Where have you spun at, and what brought you to this today?
So I started DJing back almost like, I say 6 years ago, close to 6 years ago. And actually I was working at a bar called Redmond's. My friend DJ Rich, like I was actually just a manager there. Every now and then when he was on, I would just like mess with his controller. And one time he's like, "Oh, you sound good. You should, just get like," it's literally started off with a external hard drive, and then just get a mini controller, and I just teach you how to control internally.
Yeah.
So I started, my first gig was at Dark Horse, right on Sheffield. That was my first one, every Friday and Saturday night, and started from there. Yeah, it was a nerve-wracking shift. I mean, of course I was horrible when as far as like, the long shift, but I kind of got into like, the mixing and the transition, and like I really started to fall in love with it.
So you were working in the industry as a manager, you said.
Yeah.
And so the DJing was a side gig.
Yeah, more or less like it was a side gig. And like it was something fun to do. And then I got more serious with it. More people started asking me, hey, what can you play for this? Can you play for that? I was like, no, I can't, because I don't have the equipment. I'm only a laptop and a mini controller right now. So then got more serious with it, and then I say more or less innovated my sound and how I played, and I went from Dark Horse to Stretch over to let's see, it was Houndstooth, and then I went to also it was a bar called Sandlot. That was like the Wrigleyville area.
Yeah.
And then a couple places I did was like in Lakeview was Bar Cocina, and then I went up to Whiskey Business. That's out West Loop. I mean, I'm sorry, that's out the Wicker Park. And then I started doing more events and more like private parties. Grew up into like doing the weddings, and then I
Bought your own equipment.
Yeah, I got all my equipment. That was a heck of an investment, and then like got very acclimated with it, and then started doing the weddings, and then the group I was working with ended up putting me on Navy Pier, and I started working on a cruise ship at Navy Pier, so the Odyssey, Spirit of Chicago, and Mystic Blue.
Yeah, the DJ, it's good to have those day gigs too.
Yeah.
You can only have so many Friday night gigs or Saturday weddings.
Yeah. So like, I mean, like during this time, everyone wants to party, of course, and then like during that downtime around like the late fall and the dead winter, no one wants to do anything at all. So like that was good to have like some of those outsources from other DJs, and I worked with them all over those places to like, hey, if you want to come here, you can DJ here and whatnot.
Yeah. So at what point did you make the switch from doing this as your side hustle to like, because obviously your weekend shifts, it's hard to be a manager and a DJ, so at some point you probably had to choose.
Okay, so with that one, like I luckily was done with this particular place, so like it went on to be my full-time. It was part-time, but like I was still working the ins and outs where I should go next, but I was doing it on a part-time. So with that particular place, I was done. Almost 2 years ago was when I made the full-blown switch to like say, hey, I need to focus on this, and like it's a good way to market, a good way to like do what I love, and it was of course it was fun, but it was good money making area too.
Yeah. And did your family support that? Because you said you come from a long line of musicians. So.
Yes. Yeah. So my dad's a DJ. My oldest brother's a DJ. My dad does like pretty much old school, of course. Old school, I say more like inspirational music and stuff like that. My brother, who is in West Virginia, he's a scratch DJ. He does anywhere from 90s. He does like techno. He does a broad range of things, and that's where I pretty much got my spectrum from. Is like hearing him mix. Yeah. It was like, well, he used to specialize in one area, and then all of a sudden, as more people started asking for him, he started broadening his horizon and started doing different things. And like that's where you get like a broader library and you get a broader clientele. Because if you can play almost any music, then almost anyone wants you.
Yeah. And so let's fast forward, March 2020. What do you start seeing in your bookings?
Oh, immediate reds all over the place, cancellations, almost just rescheduling, pushbacks, stuff like that. And at some point, like with the bars, it just completely died off.
When the full shutdown, like March 17th or whatever it was, like then everything just dried up.
Yeah, my last gig was at the Sandlot, and it was at I think that was St. Patty's Day weekend.
Yeah. The death nail.
Yeah. St. Patty's Day weekend. I was there for a good 8 hours, and that was the last time I actually DJ'd at a bar/club down in Wrigley.
And now, I mean, so you lost basically 100% of your revenue?
Yes, because I also started up to do my own company, started my own LLC with SSC Entertainment. So that was just like starting up, and I was like, okay, all right. So I finally got my LLC. The next step is get a separate bank, not a personal, but a business bank, and then all this other stuff, website going, the process, and then all of a sudden it was like, no.
So I mean, what do you do? Like, have you been looking for other gigs?
Try to evolve. I actually did DoorDash. Did that for a while. I also did Shipt. That's where you go shopping and all that stuff for people. But yeah, I did DoorDash for the bigger part of it. I'd have it on the schedule from Monday through Friday and stuff like that. So that's the way I shifted over. Only way I could. Yeah. I also, my friend in Omaha, I think maybe like 3 or 4 times a year. I'll go down to Omaha and spin at a bar called Blackstone Social, and it'd be different events in the summertime. And he was like, "Dude, I love your summer mixes. Hey, so can you do a mix for me, and I'll buy them off you? Can you do a few mixes?" So I did like a couple of hour and a half, 2 hour mixes. Some I had pre-recorded. I sent it down to them,
Yeah.
sold it to them, and like they use them to this day because Omaha is still on that shaky opening up thing as well. So yeah,
Yeah, Chicago's tighter than a lot of the cities.
yeah,
And this is really the crux of what we're doing is, all right, there's no playbook for this.
no,
When they said 2 weeks was the original shutdown, I think we're all naive if we bought it. Many of us didn't buy that it'd only be 2 weeks, but I don't think any of us thought it'd be this long without really an end in sight. And so how far into that lockdown was your first show out there?
I would say almost 2 months into the lockdown was my first show. Because like I said, I would see the light show, and I was like, it was getting kind of hard. Like
Yeah.
it was getting kind of like I wouldn't say boring, but it was almost the same thing over and over again. And 8 o'clock, hey, done, okay.
Right.
And so like I think it was like almost 2 months into it. I was like, all right, so I gotta stay fresh with what I'm doing also as a DJ.
Sure.
And I didn't want to just like be everyone else is just going like to Twitch and like the other social platforms and do it that way. I just want to do something added to it. So I was like, you know what? Just do a balcony party.
Yeah.
See how they accept it. If I get a whole bunch of booze next week, I'm scratching it.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, that we were sitting up here, again, Sunday afternoon. Also, we hear that, like, it was loud. You could hear that. I'm like, is there a party going on? And we walk out there, and I was telling you this because you can't really see from
No.
where you're at, but
No.
we could see everyone in your building, and all the patios come out and dance, and they're kind of, everyone's looking around. They can't see you. You
Yeah.
can't see them, but we
Yeah.
can see it all from up here. And, obviously there's a pool down there, and
Yeah.
people love it.
Yeah.
And it really did bring people out and gave us something new and fun to do without having to leave the house.
Yeah,
So
I'm glad
we
I did
appreciate
that.
it.
Thank you, man. I'm glad I did that. Like I said, like you said, I can't see anything. So everything that you were seeing, I was like hoping was going on.
Yeah.
Like because I mean most DJs are very visual crowd.
You react, you feed off them,
And so I was hoping for that. So I also did Zoom and other stuff. And so when I see comments on there, I was like, okay, try to vibe into that and try
Yeah.
to like do more of a read crowd through like actual reading from what they're posting and commenting and try to like bring energy through that.
Enjoying this episode? Don't forget to subscribe to be alerted to future episodes. What's on Tap is brought to you by TappedIn, a restaurant solutions company dedicated to making restaurateurs' lives easier and their businesses more successful. If your bar or restaurant could use help with anything from social media to Wi-Fi marketing to digital signage or anything else, head over to gettappedin.io to find out more.
you're here because of the innovation of it. It wasn't like, a free DJ show, because I looked at it and said, he's a marketer. Look at him, because you had a banner out
Yeah.
there with and you put some decals in your window. So
Yeah.
everyone, like, it wasn't just like, here, have some good music. It's like, here, have some good music and hire me.
Yeah.
Is the way I saw it. And I love that.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't aiming for that at first. And then I was like, well, they don't know who I am. They don't know what I do. So like, I mean, they actually know what I do, but like, they don't know my name and all this stuff. So let me put this else added to it. So just in case after this is all over, they have a kid party, they have something. They was like, hey,
Yeah.
so that guy downstairs, like right next door to me, or blah, blah, blah. Like, let's hire DJ Silkee.
And we talked about this before. You did play to a broader audience, not knowing necessarily who was going to be there, families and whatnot. I think I even heard some Frozen once in a while.
Yeah.
But what is your range? What do you generally play?
What I like to stick with, what I do love more is I like more like the 90s, like all around 90s. 'Cause like I think we said like earlier, like, because when music was good, the 90s all the way up to like the 2010s, mainly because that was my age of like, listening to music more and having more relationship with music and stuff like that. You can relate to it more,
Right.
whether through college, you have more experience with music around that time of growing up. So that's what I hear more, and then I have to revamp because these kids love now those TikTok ones, the mumble rappers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They love like more or less the noise instead of the lyrics, and so like I have to go into that. So like I say 90s up until 2000. I hedge it off at 12.
But you're available for weddings, you're available for kid parties,
Yes.
because you do have a pretty wide spectrum, and I can see here because there are a lot of families here, and like it's all very appropriate
Yeah.
stuff. And
So that was one things I wanted to keep to it is like make sure it's clean because I'm playing to I don't know how many people,
Yeah.
and so I wanted to make sure like the kids, the parents, can be able to like, hey, let's go out Sunday, bring the kids out and hang out, and there's a DJ, and he's not playing any vulgar lyrics or any crazy, too too explicit,
Right.
songs.
Or
So
even any genre that's too like very niche. Like it
yeah.
was very approachable. Like everyone can enjoy it, even if it's not your favorite. Like
hmm
it's just fun and it's
Well, it's
great
the
energy.
head nodders, is what I call it. It's
Right.
like just everyone just nodding their head and just vibing with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to play. I'm glad that they were accepting it, and like I didn't get anyone like, no, don't play that. I got more requests literally from little kids from their balcony, like, yeah, can you play Frozen? Can you play something from this?
That was a Frozen.
Yeah, I got those.
So, I mean, are you? What has been the reaction of your next door neighbors in your building? I hear they did finally. There was the Karen.
Yeah, so the building reactions actually been great. So, like my neighbors, every time I go out there, I just sit out there, just chill out, just to wind down from it. And it was like, dude, thank you, I appreciate it. Or I'll be walking through the halls. It was like, dude, I love this set. Actually, I say the condo association manager, he's like 3 doors down from me, and he was like, yeah, man, dude, I love it. Thank you so much. He's like, maybe you could come down further and like you could play like towards the immediate street area. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I'd love to. And
Because like you said, not many people in the building would even be able to tell where it's coming from necessarily.
yeah,
Like you look up, but it's like up and back, so
yeah,
you can't tell
yeah.
necessarily.
So no one knew.
But somebody did eventually complain.
Yep, about a month ago, we got a email, and it was they complained a month ago. We got the email almost 2 weeks ago, and literally in the letter it was like, you know what, we know you're having a good time, and we know it's hard times right now, and you're just doing this like on this specific day, but we unfortunately had someone say you're disturbing them
Yeah.
on at 12 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon for 3 hours. I was disturbing them, and
There's literally nothing else to do. It's not even Bears football to watch at the
no,
time. Right? It's just
nothing. Cubs wasn't on. Nothing
yeah,
was on
nothing.
at that time. Usually, people are out going to brunch around that time and enjoying their food and just like actually enjoying music
Yeah.
around that time. And
So
I'm
you
just
so you innovated again. How are you pivoting then with this latest objection?
so now what I'm gonna do is do it more indoors. So I'm gonna start a platform through Twitch. I have one on Facebook. It's like South Loop Day Party. It's like DJ Silkee. I have a page with that, and I'm gonna also start doing a Zoom party. So I'm gonna try to use those three platforms just to bring people together where they can just still, most likely when they were doing with the flashlight party, they
Yeah.
can just turn on their computer, plug in through a speaker, and just still vibe out still with
Yeah.
me and like with the neighborhood, whether it's on their balcony or in their house. They can still be able to just to listen to the sounds and
Awesome.
like hang out and stuff.
And so if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what are the platforms and what are the handles? What are the websites? How can they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me on IG, DJ Silkee, Silkee,
Yeah.
and the number 84. You can just IG. You can just send me a direct message, or also you can email me at Shannon, SHANNON, S as in Sam, C as in Charlie, the number 85 at gmail.com. And I'm also on Facebook, just Shannon Currie. And you can just find me on there.
We'll put links to all that too,
Yeah,
so
okay,
people
yeah.
can do that. Have you been able to get any new business from that?
Actually, I got 3 gigs from that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, someone out of nowhere was just like, "Hey, we saw you on the balcony. So, do you feel like are you comfortable with meeting us at an outside venue and then possibly doing a party?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." And then met up with them, had a good time, and they loved the music. I did a couple of like Zoom parties too for people. I actually had one guy from your building. He was like, "Hey, so I realized that you do Sunday parties. So can you do one on Saturday for free? I think I'm having my friends over, and I want you to do it." I was like, Maybe not. I mean, if you gave me a price, I would definitely do it.
I mean,
yeah.
you don't go to a chef and ask for a free meal, so
Right.
like, why would you ask for that
Yeah.
as a DJ? I mean,
It's
give something. Obviously,
if you
like
would have gave it a price like 150 for, I was like, cool, I'm
right,
down. I got nothing to do either.
right.
So like, I definitely,
Throw me a bone here, though.
yeah,
I
at
mean,
least something. Yeah, but yeah.
and so since you're not going to be out there on Sunday, we can listen on Twitch or
You listen on Twitch. I'm gonna make the platform. I'll send it to you so you can put the link below.
yeah,
Below.
you got a couple weeks before we're
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be that I'm not gonna do this Sunday. I'm gonna do like I'm building it. I'm gonna go by at least in I'm say 2 weeks.
yeah.
2 weeks from this Sunday. I want to have everything ready, good to go, and plan out and try to do a little test runs and stuff like that. Because I've done it indoors
Yeah.
when it was raining out or something like that, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I won't say it wasn't inviting to the neighborhood. Not a lot of people were tuning in. Not a lot of people were seeing it, or they didn't even know about it at all.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to know. From up here, I can tell there's a sign, there's a banner, but I wasn't able to read it until I
Yeah.
went down to the pool deck, got a little closer view to be able to see that. So hopefully we'll spread the word, because I'm sure that most people really appreciate it from what I can see. So we want to say thank you for entertaining us,
Oh.
and thank you for being creative and innovative and pushing the bounds of what's happening here, because like I said, there's no
It's crazy.
playbook.
Yeah.
And, we're trying to shine a light on everyone who's thinking outside the box to help keep the spirit of the industry alive. So
Yeah,
keep that up. And
Thank you for even listening and vibing out every Sunday. Like I said, I know who's listening, so I was like, all right, hopefully
There
it
we
takes
go.
well. So I really do appreciate you all listening and vibing out with me, and even contact me to even do this. I do love it. It's my first time ever doing a podcast like this. So like I love the fact that people are taking this in a positive note.
yeah.
And not like that one person not taking it as like he's disturbing me. like
There's always going to be one, but
Yeah.
you got to keep staying positive and finding new ways to reach the people, because we appreciate it, and you're doing a great job. And so thanks a
Thank you.
lot,
I
Shannon. It's
appreciate
great to meet you,
You too,
and
man.
we look forward to vibing out from you virtually now. So,
Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you.
you're welcome. Cheers. Cheers.
DJ Silkee did one more show from his balcony since recording this episode, but was threatened with fines from his building for doing so. So the party has stopped. Fortunately, he will be doing his live streams again soon. Check out our show notes for links and his social media handles. If you're looking to hire a DJ for your bar or party, DJ Silkee is your guy. Send him a message and say that TappedIn sent you. Thanks, Shannon, for making our quarantine a little more bearable. Best of luck to you and all the other hospitality industry professionals out there looking for work. As always, let us know if there's anything we can do to help. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd really appreciate a like, 5-star rating, and to have you as a subscriber. And follow us on social media at @get_tapped. What's on Tap is brought to you by TappedIn. To see how we can help your bar, restaurant, or nightclub, visit gettappedin.io. This episode was hosted and produced by Joe Sheehan, with special guest Shannon Currie, aka DJ Silkee. Our AV technician was Nadine Lomaton. Editing done by Andrew Rockefeller. Voiceover and marketing by Caitlin Kavanaugh. Until next time, cheers.